042 Express.
Hi versus good afternoon, and you are welcome to your favorite show on TV. It is the 042 Express, reaching live from the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, ESBS. And the face you're seeing and the voice you're hearing is that of your baby girl and your best friend, Annabelle Eze. And as you guys know, I never work alone. I am never alone. But in the studio today, I'm with someone that stole my name. Someone is stealing from me, but that's okay. That's okay because we will share everything. In the studio with me today is the one and only Annie. Annie, how you doing?
I'm okay. Hi Enugu. Hi Ofatu Vibes.
Okay.
It's a great Tuesday morning. I hope you are doing well.
Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon.
Okay. As you guys know, I have a platter of cheese, gossip, anything for your entertainment. But don't worry, when we come back from this break, by listening to Majid and Loje, the song is titled Cry. I will tell you guys the gist I have for you, and maybe you could cry or not. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
042 Express.
Okay, that song was titled Cry, and it was done by Majid and our brother Loje. Loje has been, doing a lot in the Nigerian music industry for a while now. We've seen him on sounds not once but twice with the likes of Chris Brown, with Mona Lisa remix, and now Sensational featuring Chris Brown and Davido. So it's really something beautiful to see that no matter what, no matter where you are in the world, that your sound will always be appreciated. You don't really have to fit into the societal norms or societal expectations, and that is what Loje is doing. Like, his sound is so different from what you hear on the daily basis, so that's beautiful to see. Okay, Annie, I have one very big question for you. If you could be anywhere in the world, like right now, where would you be?
Anywhere in the world?
Yes, right now.
I think I would be in Qatar.
Ooh, Qatar.
That's the most expensive country
right now. Ooh.
Yeah, I think I'll be in Qatar.
And the thing is that to get to Qatar, you actually need a form of transportation, maybe a private jet or a commercial jet. And that brings us to my first gist of the day. Maybe BBN Katrina was so eager to travel to her dream destination that she had to Photoshop her name onto a private jet. She had to Photoshop her name onto a private jet and posted it to her Twitter page, saying that she just got a private jet. But you trust Nigerians, the internet will never forget, because they had to go and perform detective works and find out that that private jet did not belong to her, and in fact she did a Photoshop. So my question for you, Annie, is what do you think really drives people to the fake life, quote unquote, the kind of fake life people are living now, especially the celebrity?
I think it's a matter of greed, and when you don't love yourself that much, you're not satisfied with who you are and what you are, so you try to live up to a certain level, or you try to live up to this expectation. I mean, it's quite unnecessary. If you're not there, you're not there. It brings more embarrassment to you when at the end of the day they find out that it's a lie. I mean, you should have just been real to yourself.
Okay. We've seen these kind of things. Like, what do you think is the repercussions of this kind of? Because we know Katrina is not poor. She's at least comfortable. She's above average. So do you think that even at that stage of her life that she's being pressured into living a certain kind of lifestyle that she can't afford yet, or she still dreams of having?
I think for someone like Katrina, I think this is her putting pressure on herself, because she already has the fame.
Yeah.
She has the name.
Yeah.
She's somewhere, like you said, she's above average.
Yeah.
So I think it's just her putting pressure on herself. Maybe there are some people of her age and level that are above her status, and she's trying to live up to that or something. I think it's just her putting pressure on herself. And for the repercussion, I mean, you're bringing more embarrassment to yourself.
Knocking on your doorstep.
I mean, no one will believe you.
And it's just even if she finally gets a private jet, no one is going to believe that the private jet belongs to her.
Because she has already lied, and it's very hard to take away the lies from the public.
Yeah.
Everybody will believe
The
what
internet
they want to
will
believe.
always remember. They will dig up your past, like something you thought it was dead and buried.
And
They'll find a
also,
way.
you know, we Nigerians, most of the people on that app, Twitter, are kind of jobless. I want to use the word jobless. Because they're just waiting for you to make one mistake, and they are going back to the tweet you made years back. Man.
And I think that also brings me to say that people should be careful. You know, when they say in the olden days, like when you wanted to get married, like your parents will enter a car, they'll travel to that place, that person's village, to go and ask questions and try to find out more about it. I think people make that thing easier now, because all you have to do is check the person's digital footprint.
Yeah, I think that's also because of the civilization and technology we have now.
Because all the person needs to do is to check your tweets, check your Instagram, and it also affects people a lot in workplaces, workforce. Because I've seen a story on this same X, formerly known as Twitter, a HR, a hiring executive, he said that someone applied for a job at his firm. And when he saw the application, he remembered that it was a guy that was trolling him years back on Twitter. So the guy wasn't qualified for the job, but he still invited the guy for an interview. And when the guy came, they served him papers of like his tweets. And so like you should be careful what you put out on social media, especially if you know that you're not going to employ yourself, like you're not going to be a full-time content creator, you're not going to be a musician, like where they don't really care about what you say. But if you know you're going to go into the corporate world, I think you should be more careful about what you say and how you say it, because sometimes you might be poking your helper because you can't imagine. Okay, that being said, let's go listen to this song. It is titled Run Away, and it was done by Kid and Jackie. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
042 Express.
You know, something very, I won't call it surprising, but I think something that keeps me in awe is how much people, you're very young people, because Kid, I think he'll just be 20 this year. So how much like kids of these days are putting in work and effort. Like you can see that they don't necessarily have to go through the traditional route of like the way you should make money, you have to make money. You see that they are showing the world that there are other ways of making money that doesn't just revolve around maybe being a doctor or being a lawyer or an engineer, which is like the main traditional route a lot of people seem to go through. But that's by the way. Dear Annie,
yes,
what is that one thing you regret using your money to buy?
That one thing
you regret using your hard-earned money to buy?
I think this was way back in secondary school.
Okay.
So there was a trend. All my classmates had phone watches.
Yeah.
And then I gave someone money. This was at that time. I gave my classmate 15,000 naira.
Wow.
And if I had to just get me a touchscreen watch. So
wow.
I think that's the worst thing I've used my money to.
You know, I don't think your pain can be compared to the pain of using your hard-earned money to buy cheese ball where breeze don't enter. You buy cheese ball. No, I don't think any pain on earth can. Okay, maybe grief, but no other pain can be compared to buying cheese ball where breeze don't enter.
Or biscuits.
If we just prepare you for body,
so
like no way. Okay, a lot has been going on. A lot of people have been, I think with the internet, a lot of people have different kinds of opinion, different shades of opinion on things that are happening. And now the question is a question of priority. A content creator was going around asking different mothers, who do they think their sons should buy a car for first? Like he has money, he wants to buy just one car. So who is he going to give it to? And a lot of mothers, because she didn't ask, she asked mothers. A lot of mothers had different opinions. Some said themselves, and some said that he should buy it for their wife. So I want to ask you, Annie, who do you think the boy should get that property for first?
Like you said, it's a matter of priority. When you're going to get the car, I think you should consider who needs it more. For instance, if the mother is a business tycoon and she needs that vehicle to go about her business, and the wife doesn't do anything, I think the mother needs the car. But if it's the other way around, and it's the woman who needs the car more, maybe for school runs and for other things, I think he should buy the car for his wife. But at the end of the day, if he has the money to buy a car, I think he has money to buy two. So to be on the safe side, please buy for your mom and buy for your wife.
And when things like this happen, I just don't think the problem is the car.
Yeah.
The problem is not the car. The problem is about where the priority lies.
Yeah.
So there's this debacle going around all the time. People say that when you get married, that your immediate family becomes the one you're trying to make, so your priority should be
your
them.
immediate family.
And some people are also of the opinion that your wife is not your family, that it is your children. Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds crazy that your wife is not your family, that it's your children. So
Some
think
say she's a borrowed
family, because so that's where a lot of this whole discourse and drama comes around. And I keep wondering, is it only on the internet we are seeing things like this, or are people actually thinking like that?
It happens in real life. I mean, you see cases like this also in situations where the man's mother comes to the house, and maybe the man wants to take the mother and the woman outside, and they start dragging who sits in the front seat. I mean, it's crazy. But
why
it happens?
Why?
It happens.
Like, can't they just be peace? Like, must somebody always be above somebody? Because sometimes, like, the situations you find yourself in is going to determine the kind of actions you will take.
Yes, I think this also happens in cases when maybe your mother-in-law doesn't like you, or she's just a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's very
and
crazy.
maybe the boy is a mommy's boy. Oh God.
Okay, what is really a mommy's boy?
My own definition of a mommy's boy is a man who cannot make decisions on his own, except his mother backs him up or says this is what you should do. I mean, it's not a crime to listen to your mother, but where the problem comes in is where your mom determines everything you do. Even in your family, like you're married, you can't listen to your wife. You want to do something, you have to go to your mother. It's not proper, and it makes the woman feel like, why am I here if you can't listen to me?
But if you think about the sacrifices a mother makes,
that is also why I said it's not a crime to listen to your mom. Mothers make a lot of sacrifices. I will be a future mother tomorrow, and I will also love to look at my children, and I would love them to listen to what I have to say. But it's not my right to dictate everything that happens in their life, because they come to a certain age where I have to accept that they are adults, and I have to let them make their own decisions.
Yeah.
So I think some mothers should also learn this as well.
Yeah, you don't always have to trick your nose in your son's family, or even your daughter's family, because most times they are out of your life already. Like, even though you see them almost all the time, you continue to think of them as your kids, as your babies, most times they are no longer in your life and they are starting their own family. So at least let them be able to manage their own families. But we'll have more of that when we come back from listening to Sheyi Vibes Inc. and Moise. This song is titled Instagram. We'll be right back.
042 Express.
That song was titled Instagram, and it was done by Sheyi Vibes, Moise, and Vibes Inc. And Annie said, see this small boy. Someone that should be in class singing Abchide. And I think it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show, and it is beautiful to see that people can actually deviate from the traditional way of getting things done and still be successful at it. Because imagine him, like, at this age, the little thing he's doing, then like he's going to have a lot of time to do other things that he loves later on in life, and he's never going to be late at anything. So that being said, I think this whole show, all I've been doing is, once we get back, I throw a very, very sensitive question at Annie. So now, Annie, I want to ask you this question. Can you change your religion for a man?
It depends on the religion we're changing to.
Which religion? What does it depend on the religion you're changing to? What sense does that make?
Personally, I was born and brought up in a Christian Catholic home.
Okay.
I do not think my family would accept me bringing a Muslim, because being married to a Muslim it's a must. I have to change my religion. It's not just being a Muslim. Most times, because I'm a woman, I have to change into what my husband is. It's just like when I get married, I change my surname to my husband's name. It also comes with religion. Personally, I think I might be able to make the sacrifice, because they say with love comes great sacrifice. Yeah, I can be able to make the sacrifice, but I don't think that my whole family, nuclear and external, I don't think they would accept that. So, and a marriage where your nuclear and external family would not support won't. It has a very low tendencies of working. So
so this whole support that you've been saying, we've seen a lot of times where it doesn't even matter whether it's religion. A lot of families don't just accept the partner, the life partner that their child have chosen to spend their lives with. So it brings me to ask the question, does the support of your family really matter when you know this person in depth and you know that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with? Shouldn't love triumph this kind of support? My main question is, would the non-acceptance of your family stop you from marrying the person that you so much want to get married to?
I'm going to be honest to myself and to all.
Yeah.
The support matters, but it doesn't.
Okay.
It matters because it depends on the situation. It depends on why your family will not support this marriage or relationship to go through. But if the reason is not necessary, if it's not important, if you feel like you know this person and the reason your family members are giving you is not good enough, I mean, you can go ahead, because at that point I think the support wouldn't matter. But if the reason is good enough, I mean, you should consider, because on the long run it can affect you.
The question is, like, what kind of reason is good enough that you did not see at the courtship stage, that someone your family will have to point out to you, that will now make you say, because for you to reach the marriage stage, it is not just a short distance, it's a marathon, it's a long race for you to finally decide that you want to end up with this person for life. And then there comes some member of your family and say, no, you cannot end up with this person. So what is that good enough reason that they will be able to give you that will take you back on all the progress you've made so far?
Okay, I'm going to use a story that I know.
Okay.
But I'm going to try as much as possible to brief it.
Okay.
The main content of the story is deceit.
Okay.
Now, the man in question deceived this woman the whole time from their courtship, their relationship. He deceived her about the blood group and genotype thing. So he said he was an AA and the woman is AS. Okay. And this is what they believed. Okay. So when he got to time of going for tests and everything, he manipulated the results behind everyone. Unknowingly for him, the doctor he bribed to manipulate the results was family members with this girl. Okay. And they didn't know until the introduction time, when the man is going to pay her bride price and everything. Yeah. So the doctors recognized the man and was like, no, I can't do this to my sister, and he had to speak up. So in cases like that, I don't think it's something you can easily let go, because there are medical ways to get around the whole AS thing, but like, if you can be able to deceive me for that long, I mean, what can you do?
Then I'm judging from the story, I don't really think that that's a case of because even the girl in question has to reject that marriage. Yeah. Because now it is deceit on the man's side, and even if she wants to forgive that man for deceit, they still can't get married because the genotype has blocked that path. But the question I'm asking is, when there is no blockage, like your family just dislikes this person. We've seen cases like that. Okay, take for instance this actress that just got married sometime last month, Wolfie Father, that the family of the guy had to put out a press release saying that they do not support the marriage, and they didn't know that the boy went to Calabar to get married to Wolfie, all because they said she was older than him. So in questions like this, what really, should this kind of, because people of the debacle, should this kind of thing actually be a problem in a whole 2024?
I'm going to say this: run away and get married, because I don't think that's not good enough reason. That reason is not good enough. I mean, age is not a number, but age is a number. If you feel like you love this person with or without the age difference, why don't you go ahead? I mean, your family members are not the people in that marriage with you. It is between the both of you. And if the both of them have decided that with or without the age difference, they love each other, they can live with each other, and they think the marriage will work, run away and get married.
Fly away and get married. That's what you say. But I'm yet to see marriages where families give a good enough reason for that reject or for not supporting that marriage. I'm yet to see a good enough reason. I've heard stories of maybe mothers not liking their said-to-be daughter-in-law or son-in-law, but if you ask them why, they never give a concrete reason, or they never tell you why. They just say, I don't like this person. So most times that's why people say that your extended family not liking the person you want to get married to is this thing doesn't matter. But I'm also of the opinion that when we come back from listening to Record the Banks and TV Vibes, it's time to start to focus. So I'll give you my opinion on that very topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
042 Express.
Of the question that if I'm saying quote unquote, like your mother-in-law does not like you, run. Like you see how I had to calm down to say run, because your life will be a living hell if your mother-in-law doesn't like you. Or like the only way you'll be able to manage it is if your husband is actually bold enough to stand up for you. To stand up for you. That is the only way you can survive in a marriage where the mother-in-law does not like you. If your father-in-law does not like you, like life will not be so difficult, because men don't really concern themselves with having beef and like fighting over things. Like if your father-in-law doesn't like you, he probably won't even come to your home till the very day you die, or he will not even attend your wedding. But if your mother-in-law doesn't like you, she'll come into your home and make you uncomfortable in your own home. So like I feel like if you cannot settle the issue with your mother-in-law before you get married, just make sure that you are bold enough, you are strong enough, confident enough, mentally prepared to fight
for the long run.
Exactly. So all this kind of thing is very dicey, and if you're not in that situation, you will not really know how to react or how to act on all this kind of thing. But like I said before, I have never seen a family where they say they rejected somebody and those people went on to get married. I did not see where they later died in the future or something happened and what my family said was wrong. But obviously sometimes there could be a good enough reason why your family rejects say person. So all these things could be solved with simple communication.
Yes.
It could be solved with, if your father or your mother can sit down and say, okay, see why this thing happened with evidence. Like they say if you talk too much, you don't get evidence. Now church and noise they make. So if your family is able to not make noise and bring out solid evidence why this kind of person is not good enough for you, I think you should maybe listen to them, because sometimes when you're inside something, your vision gets blurred. It is the people that are outside that see those things and will be able to point it out to you. So maybe you've dated somebody for 15 years and you don't even know half the life of that person, but maybe your mother can just see that person once and be able to tell you that there's something wrong with this person, and most times it's something spiritual or something that you can't even tell or see. Okay, so leaving the case of parents and marriage, something very heartbreaking just happened in one of the Nigerian universities. A guy reported a case of being raped. A guy, I know you heard me, by his fellow guy. But now the thing is that people seem to not believe. The question in the comment section is things like how you fit even rape guy. So I don't think like in this our big 2024 that people still don't believe that these kind of things can happen to men as well. So what do you think about that?
I think rape is a situation where people shouldn't really judge, because being in that position, you're in shock. Sometimes you can't even fight. Sometimes you don't even know what to do. You just see yourself let it happen, not out of fear or anything, but you're in shock that this is happening to you. And in the case of men being raped, I think the male gender are often neglected, which is quite unfair. The society is in a way being just unfair to the female gender. The male gender actually go through a lot, way more than we think. The case of rape, child molestation, it happens to a good 98% of men. But they don't talk about it because when they even talk about it, they are being, neglected or sidelined or something else. But in this case, I think the authorities, if the authorities should get involved, they should really get involved and go to the ends of the world to make sure that case is settled.
I think in this our society, when we say society neglects men, I keep on asking, who makes up society? It is still you and I. And once you don't I think the reason why people say society is fair to women when women complain of things like rape, abuse, is because they see women as a weaker gender, vulnerable, and they see it as like a man could actually beat you down and rape you. But when a man complains of the same thing, they see like, why your fellow guy go touch you? Like, why can't you fight? But they keep on forgetting that you're dealing with human beings, and some that human beings are most times vulnerable. And no matter how strong of a man you are, there's someone that is also stronger than you. There's something that could happen. You could be intoxicated. A lot of things could happen that could have led to those kind of things. And we're also forgetting that men could get raped by women as well.
Yes.
So like, why is it that when a man complains about abuse, molestation, people they say suck it up, be a man? Why don't people actually take care of men? So that's why when you see like a man is acting out of character, they'll be like, oh, this person is not so. But we keep forgetting that we make demons. Like, we are the monsters we made. So like, if someone is acting a certain way, it is because of a certain things that have happened to them. And if you check statistics, a good number of men were abused as little kids by women, by fellow men, by their uncles, by their aunties, by their own parents. But they will never say this kind. Even if they say it, we laugh at them, we judge them, we make them seem like less of themselves, like less of human beings. And that's why we have a lot of emotionally unavailable men, a lot of abusive men, a lot of men that just go rampant like in the society. And it's very crazy to see. And I wish that we as Africans and we as individuals and a society do better in protecting our children, protecting the boy child, protecting the girl child, because every child deserves a right, deserves a life filled with love and fulfillment, and not the one of abuse and molestation. So I think that we should take care of the boy child very well and listen to them when they complain about certain sensitive topics. Don't worry. Also, when we talk about the way the boy child are being raised, I think especially mothers have like a little bit of fault in that.
Yes.
Because they raise daughters to be wives.
Yeah.
And raise men to be
husbands.
No, not husbands. They raise
men.
daughters to be wife and raise men to be men. Like, like be a man. Like something happens, like there's a lot of pressure on that man. Do this one, do that one, do that one. And when you don't do this kind of thing, you're seen as less. So I think we should really do better as a family, a unit, individual, society. Because when you say society has made this thing to be so, I keep asking, who is society? What makes up the society? It is you and I. And if we don't do better, it will never get better. So I feel like I took down the spirit a little bit. Don't worry, let's go listen to Fireboy or Basima, and maybe it will lift our spirit a little bit. Don't worry, stay with us, we'll be right back.
042 Express.
Okay, before we went on that break, we were talking about protecting the boy child, making sure that we are raising very good boys, very good child, and listening to them when they talk about things that are very trivial to them, abuse, molestation, and the rest of them. So Annie had something, one or two things to say about that.
What I want to say is, this goes to the present and future parents.
Okay.
The same morals you're going to put into your girl child, please do the same for your male child.
Yeah.
If you're going to teach your girl child how to be in the kitchen, how to cook, how to do this, how to do dishes, how to do the laundry, teach your male child, because at the end of the day, the outcome is the same. If the girl child turns out to be a good person, that's the same thing you are going to expect from the male child. The same, it comes, it also goes far as, you know, care, listening. Do not neglect, don't neglect any of your children. If your boy child comes to say, I went to my classmate's house and his older brother touched me, take it serious. It's not just the girl child, because this abuse, it deals with them a lot mentally, and it's something they have to live with for the rest of their life. And it doesn't just damage them as children, it damages the way they look at their parents, because they will always look at their parents like, oh, when it was Ada's turn, you took it personal, but when it was my turn. No, I think the same love, nurture, care, attention you're giving to your male child or the female child, give it to the male or the female.
You know, there was this podcast I was listening to. The guy was of the opinion that most men that we see that are sexually indisciplined or that have no regards whatsoever for women were at some point in their life molested or neglected. Because if you check it, once a girl is of age or once she starts showing signs of maturity, the next thing her mom calls her and says, oh, Ada, from you're starting to see your period, look at how you're going to fix your pad, look at how you're going to fix this. And that starts from a very early stage. There's this some sort of care and nurturing that comes to the girl child. But when boys are left to grow alone, to go on their own, everything they learn from their phones. That's why at a very little age they don't even know how their reproductive organs work, and they are feeling some things that they've never felt before in their life. So they go to phones, and that's how you see that little children are being exposed to these explicit sites, and they are watching videos because their father didn't tell them this kind of things. Their father didn't tell them, okay, Obi, at this kind of age you're going to feel this kind of thing. It is normal, but you shouldn't act on this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like there's no inculcation. They are not teaching them this kind of thing.
It's not just a duty of one parent. Like it doesn't matter anybody, who it is. The man can do it, the woman can do it.
They don't. The thing is that why they say father, because it creates a bond. The same way this kind of thing creates a bond between the mother and the daughter, it also creates a bond between the father and the boy. But when the mother is neglecting and the father is also neglecting, this child is left to experience society on his own. He grows up, and once he starts seeing,
and whatever kind of he sees at that point, he believes, and it works for him, and that's it.
He goes on and he types a particular site, and he sees, wow, this is how these kind of things are supposed to happen. So it becomes very bad. So at the end of the day, as she said, whatever you teach your girl child, please teach your boy child, because the outcome would always be the same. Okay guys, I know you were looking at your clock, and you can see that it is already 52 minutes to the hour of 2 o'clock, and that means we have finally come to the end of the program for today. But before we go, I'll leave Annie to say hello to us.
Hi Enugu people, hi people of this generation and the past. I hope you enjoyed our show today, and I look forward to doing this with you guys another day. And like I said, please be a good parent. The same thing you're going to teach your girl child, please teach your boy child. Thank you.
Okay, hi versus the love of my life. The loves of my life. Okay, you know the voice you're hearing and the face you're seeing is that of your best friend and your baby girl, Annabelle Eze. And all I want to tell you for today is that when you are dealing with somebody, deal with the person that like you would deal with yourself. Everybody out there is a human being. So that being said, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
042 Express.